Good morning. It's Monday, February 20th. And a couple of weeks ago, an unusual event took place. At least I think it was an unusual event. Someone stole a statue. Now, that's not easy to do, to steal a statue. And this was a very unusual statue. This was not a statue that was made 100 years ago and had some great value. Although I believe that this statue did have value. Now, this statue was not a political figure or a politician or a great president or a general, somebody in the armed forces, some heroic figure in the United States. Although this was a historic figure, statue of Jackie Robinson. And this statue was in Wichita, Kansas. Now, I'm sure most of you know that up to 1947, baseball was a lily white sport. And it was after 47, when Jackie Robinson joined the major leagues, that the color barrier was broken. And right now, about 60% of the ball players that play baseball are white, and 30% are something else, and 6% are black. And then there's some other minorities that also play baseball. But that wasn't the case in 1947. So this was a major event when Jackie Robinson went to play for the Brooklyn Dodgers. Now, Branch Rickey was the owner of the Dodgers, and he was known as a skinflint. He did not pay a lot of money to his ball players. Not that they made a hell of a lot of money in those days, but they made a good living. In fact, I know that some of the ball players, even though they were playing baseball for 6 months, had jobs in the off season because they didn't make the salaries that they're making today. And Branch Rickey was a skinflint in that regard. But he was a shrewd businessman, and he recognized the fact that his team, the Brooklyn Dodgers, played in a multiracial environment. And he realized that if he could bring a black player in, that would affect his attendance at the ballpark positively. So that's what he did. But it was a courageous step, and we have to give him credit for taking it, even though I believe that it was a monetary issue as well as a human issue. And I will tell you that there was one manager in the major leagues, a gentleman called Ben Chapman, who was a racist to the core and attacked Robinson every time his team, the Philadelphia Phillies, played the Brooklyn Dodgers. And he verbally attacked him. He would be arrested today for the things that he said and the actions he took when Robinson was on the field. So he was a racist to the core, but nothing happened to him. He didn't get punished in any way, shape, or form, except in the course of history. They can look at Chapman's record and say, no matter how good he was a fascist and a racist. But in those days, back in 1947, you could get away with that stuff. You couldn't get away with it now. So in any event, I want to get back to the statue. The statue of Jackie Robinson was stolen. Now, this statue was not a sculpture. It was not made of stone. It was made of metal. And it was stolen because somebody wanted the metal for scrap. Now, I don't know why they couldn't just go to a junkyard and get stuff. But anyhow, the gentleman, Ricky Alderate, 45 years old, was charged with felony theft by the Wichita Police Department and aggravated criminal damage to property, identity theft, and making false information. And he stole this statue from the Youth League baseball facility in Wichita, Kansas. The first thing that came mind when I started reading this article was that this was a racist event. This was something that was done by somebody who was anti-black, anti-everything, and a pure racist at the core. Because why would anybody want to destroy a statue of Jackie Robinson? But he hasn't been charged with any racist charges because that's hard to prove. He was claiming he just wanted this thing for scrap metal. Now, you would look at this guy, he's 45 years old, you would think he has a brain in his head, but obviously he didn't. I mean, he could go to a junkyard and steal tin cans or something over there if he wanted metal. So it doesn't make any sense to me why he took the statue, except that it was a racist act. In fact, the police are giving him the benefit of the doubt with respect to the racial aspects and just claiming that he could sell that scrap metal for somebody or something. I don't believe that. And not only he is there, but there were 3 other people there because the police saw a surveillance video showing at least 3 people present when the statue was stolen on January 25th. So the police are looking for these other people who appeared in this video. And the police is saying this is a painstaking investigation trying to find these other people and trying to figure out the real actions meant by this theft. So interestingly enough, Alderati was already in custody for another case unrelated to the statue. Get this, he was charged with kidnapping and aggravated burglary in addition to other charges for some incident that took place on February 1st. 1 week after the Jackie Robinson statue was stolen. So when I hear all this information about the criminal, I'm not so sure he is a racist. He's just an unbalanced individual, perhaps, that doesn't know which way to turn and doesn't know what to do with his life. And maybe he's really a poor soul, but I don't think he's that poor a soul. He's been convicted a couple of times of a couple of different things, as well as this current incident that he's been charged with before the statue was stolen. So I believe he belongs in some penal institution somewhere, but knowing the way this country works, he may not get the punishment he deserved. There was a GoFundMe page set up to raise money to replace the statue. And as of this moment, it has $200,000 in donations. And then there's League 42. That's a nonprofit named after Jackie Robinson's number. It provides low-cost baseball registration for children. And it had already raised $50,000 for the original statue. So now there's $2,000 sitting out there. And let's hope they use that money and replace that statue. And they have something left over to continue their good work with children in need of some kind of financial support in order to play the great game of baseball. It is a great game. I always liked it, but I'm not a Dodger fan. I'm a Yankee fan to the core. So have a great day, and I'll see you in the morning. Bye.